What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. We're going to talk about Hailey today. I am super excited to speak about this girl. I think she's absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to throw it out there right now. And I also think I fixed my streaming quality too. So hopefully the video recording is really good. I did a test recording just to make sure everything was right, checked my settings and everything like that. And so far it looked good. So hopefully it stays good. But let's talk about Hailey and whether or not she's worth farming for or spending money on to get. My first impressions of the girl, I think she's absolutely phenomenal. I'll throw that out there right now. But she does have some downsides to her. So I want to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly with her. So right off rip, let's talk about her build. This isn't a build video, by the way, so please do not use my build right away. Uh, I'm almost done cooking up a build for her. I'm not going to showcase the mods that I have on her right now, just because I want to say that for my build video. Ignore the component sets right now. I'm experimenting with some things, and I'm liking some things with some testing that's going on. But let's talk about the character, and I'll showcase a little bit of the gameplay and stuff like that in a loop. So, right off rip, her first ability is Cryo Round. Now, Cryo Round, all this thing does is it just summons this little auto turret, and it will tag up to 9 different enemies, and it'll only shoot 9 shots. Now, this will just apply cryo to enemies. I assume once enemies are cryo, they get flash freezing. It doesn't really say it here inside the description, but that's just the automatic assumption I'm just having on the ability and how it works, right? I assume flash freezing just applies to the target once cryos add it to them, kind of thing. And you only get 9 stacks of it. Now, that's cool and all, but let's talk about her next ability, Storm Snare. So this is also really important. Cryo Round is important. I imagine this is supposed to like synergize well with Storm Snare because not only will this slow down enemies like action speeds and stuff like that, it says Cryo applies additional damage. Now the additional damage, I'm not sure if that's just from Cryo being applied or if that's because like I get additional damage for Storm Snare. We'll talk about that later. I'm just experimenting with her. She's super new, so I'm messing around with things. Storm Snare, right? This ability is meat and potatoes. This thing is sick. So Storm Snare uses her unique weapon, and it'll spawn in her sniper rifle, and it does the freezing beam direct damage. As you can see right there, is skill power times 8,902.2% base. That is insane. And then number of cryo effects inflicted from freezing beam direct hit is 5, right? I assume that means you can hit up to a total of 5 targets with it to get more stacks. And the number of cryo effects inflicted from freezing beam AoE hit is 2. Chill vortex effect range is just its radius is just 5 meters. And the number of cryo effects inflicted from chill vortex hit is 9, right? I assume again that's just how many enemies you can just hit with it max. And then going into the cryo duration, 12 seconds, additional damage 50%. So maybe this isn't similar to the first ability. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit confused about this. Maybe someone else might know. All I know is she just does big numbers, and that's what I'm happy about, right? Is big juicy numbers. So then moving on to her third ability, Cold Fury. This ability is awesome, but this ability, in my opinion, has some downsides to it. So this ability increases her firearm critical hit rates, her skill critical hit rate, her firearm penetration means she can hit more than one target. Now, penetration to me is iffy. I like to think that penetration also just allows you to hit the Colossus twice, like through their weak point, but I cannot confirm that. No matter how many times I test it, my brain just doesn't clock and try to like process it. I don't think that's actually what's happening, but it's something that I wish that does happen because it just makes the most sense to me. But it doesn't necessarily happen. Sorry that I sucked my teeth right there. Anyways, the cool thing about this though is obviously the skill critical hit rate and the firearm critical hit rate that you're getting from the stacks, and you get about 16 stacks, so you get a nice chunk of critical hit rate to your firearm and skill critical hit rate, which is super 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 nice, right? It does reduce your movement speed, however, which is not bad. It's not bad in the long run. I'm actually fine with that negative. The additional buffs that you get at max, when you get max stacks, is more skill critical hit damage, similar to Luna, except Luna's 50%, but this is just 20%, so it's not bad. And then firearm critical hit damage of another 20%. So that's also really cool. Moving on to the rest of the ability. Um, when Cold Fury reaches maximum stacks, Hailey becomes immune to knockdown and gains an increase to her firearm and skill critical hit damage. So that's cool. Now she becomes immune to knockdown, right? So in your eyes, you're probably like, oh, Render, that's sensational. That's great. She doesn't get knocked down. She still gets staggered, however. So although she doesn't get knocked down, she still gets staggered, and when you get staggered, you get knocked out of your ability. I'll try to see if I can do a quick recording after this. I'm actually supposed to be heading to bed because I got work. But I'll try to do a quick recording of that, of me getting staggered out of an ability, even while I have max stacks. So I hope Nexon fixes that at some point because I think that's kind of silly. The knockdown is cool and all, but you still get canceled out your ult no matter what. Um, so that kind of blows. But let's showcase some damage real quick. So here's the quick damage showcase. Boom. That's 1.9 million damage right there. Mind you, my my build is not complete at all in the slightest. So the numbers will actually be much higher once I get my desired stats. But I'm gonna showcase it with a crit. Hold on. It's kind of nutty. It's kind of nutty. I might actually pull a clip from my live stream actually of me hitting some Colossus for some juicy damage. Should have seen what I did to that little pyromaniac. It was insane. All right, so let's try to see if I can get another quick thing here. If I can't, there we go. 9.7 mil right there. It can definitely hit higher than that. I promise you it can. It's ridiculous. Right here, I did 4 mil with another additional, like, what? 1 mil right there without applying any effects. Then 2 mils right off back on that hit. She's ridiculous, guys. And she gets more damage. So going back to her abilities, her passive, by the way, gives you increased weak point damage if you're 25 meters or more away from a target, right? And you get a max up to 50%. So that's insane. The reference distance is 12.5 meters, by the way. So going here into her fourth ability, her final ability, right? You get a firearm attack increase of 50%, right? And her unique weapon base damage snapshots the whatever your equipped weapon is at the time. So say you had like ideally like a weapon that did like 500,000 base damage or something like that, something crazy, guys. That will be the base damage of your equipped weapon, and then you get firearm attack increase of another 50% on top of that for free. For free. And you do additional damage based on your skill power times another 3,600%. That's ridiculous, right? Now add in the buffs from Cold Fury and from her passive ability, you got a monster on your hands, right? Like she hits like a truck, and it's absolutely ridiculous. This character is phenomenal, and I feel like if you're someone like me who loves damage, she's great. If you are looking for another character that has crazy AoE and everything like that, I don't think she's good for mobbing. So like if you want to use her for like open world content, I probably wouldn't really. I mean, I'm still gonna run out there just because I think she's just awesome. Like I just love the fact she's just so strong. Um, but in mobbing, she really sucks in mobbing right now. I have a feeling that her transcendent modules that she gets in the future will give her some kind of capability to do more overworld content a lot easier and just clear things to make it for people who just want like another little mobbing capability, whether it be making the turret here last longer, and go off duration instead of just being like 9 max hits or something like that, or maybe this ability might change, or this might become like another AoE kind of thing. I don't know. Like, I don't think she's bad in her kit. I think her kit is actually better as a start right now. The only thing, again, I would say about her kit that I would like to see changed is I would like her to just have stagger resistance as well. The fact that enemies can stagger her out her abilities kind of sucks, especially because when you're in the ability, you're stationary. You can't move. So having immune to knockdown is great and all, and it's perfect. But like, say you're doing like an intercept battle and you have a kingfisher on you, right? And you're scoped in, so you don't see the kingfisher on you, and it hits you. You're staggered out your ult, and that kind of sucks. But One thing I will say again that Nexon did do well with this character, going back to the abilities as well. Um, so if you look at the way her ability is, you see right at the top basic info, cooldown reduction when skill ends is up to a maximum of 90%, right? Now, that happens when you don't use all of the bullets inside your weapon. So, say like you're doing a DPS phase, right, on a boss or whatever the case may be, or maybe the boss instantly gets enraged, so you can't fire off all of your shots because you just do so much damage, you instantly enrage the boss, right? You could then absorb, you can like cancel your ultimate, and if you cancel your ultimate, it'll instantly decrease her cooldown and let her get her ult back so much faster to where you don't even need to run cooldown on her, right? So that's the thing I find really amazing about this character because she basically has built in 100% uptime on her sniper. Technically, not really, because like say like you don't frenzy a boss and you lose all 4 shots and you don't do enough damage to instantly like one phase the boss, then you don't have 100% uptime. I know, yada yada yada. Whoop-de whoop-de doo. So you could build her to technically have 100% uptime if you did decide to run cooldowns, but it's just completely unnecessary in my opinion. Um, she's ridiculous. Uh, because what I do is my rotation after I get done using her fourth ability, I use her second ability. I think these two abilities go hand in hand perfectly fine. So after I get done boxing something up with the fourth ability, I go straight into the second ability. Boom, bada bing, bada boom, bam, done, clean. You know what? I actually will go back into my VOD and I will try to capture that and break it down for you guys so you can just see how it plays out. It's insane. It's insane. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think about Hailey if you plan on getting her. In my opinion, I think this character is 100% worth it. I think she's sensational. I can't wait to see what her unique transcendent mods are going to bring and how they plan on changing her kit because she's already so powerful and strong. I think the only thing she needs, and I pray Nexon just updates it and just looked at it as like a slight oversight, is give her stagger resistance when she has max stacks because that's the main thing she needs, right? That's the only thing she needs, and I would say this character's complete. This is probably like, if not the third best complete character we got in the game. Because other than Bunny, right? I would argue Glay was like the only other character whose kit felt kind of complete, other than the fact that Glay's fourth ability kind of screws her over. But um, with Hailey, it just feels like, dude, I'm really happy with Hailey's performance right now. Like, she's very strong. She excels in damage. Again, her survivability is really nice, guys. Like, I can actually stand there in a Colossus and just laugh in a Colossus face. And then, like, they'll just hit me, and I'm like, oh my god, this feels good. Like, I'm not panicking about my HP. I'll look at myself, and I'm like, oh, dude, I tried to put a walk a tight rope on her, guys, so I can get more firearm attack damage and skill power. So I was like, I'm gonna do that for Hailey, right? But the issue is that like she's so strong that like, at least with my my old components that I was using on Viesa, she was so strong that bosses just couldn't do enough damage to me anyways. To the point where it's just like, you know what? It's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. So I just left it alone. But I'm ranting. Let me stop. I need to go to bed. I need to go to bed. I got work. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far in the video, please drop a like, subscribe, and let me know down below again. What do you think about Hailey? Do you plan on getting her? The build video I will probably have up in like a week. Right now, my desired reactor that I'm looking for isn't in rotations for like another like 4 or so odd days. So I might just throw a video out soon once I finish getting my remaining component sets and stuff like that that I am looking for. I just want to do some more testing on some numbers real quick with each component, and then see which one I like more for my build. And then I'll have a full video out. So hopefully, um, in the next coming week or so, something like that. Probably not too far off, but pretty soon I'll have Hailey fully built for you guys. I love you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Fuck you, bro. Get out of here. Bitch, get knocked. 11 million damage on him, bro.